So now we will discuss about front-end related development. So what are the technologies required, and so what we have to cover, all those things we will discuss. Okay, fine. So first we will discuss about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Typescript, Bootstrap, Angular, and React.js. So these are the technologies we'll cover. So we will more focus on JavaScript, TypeScript, Angular and React.js. So HTML, CSS, so Bootstrap, just for designing we will use it, but remaining JavaScript, TypeScript, Angular and React.js, so these all are for front-end development. So whenever we want to write any code inside the front-end development, so these four are key role. Okay, so now we will discuss each and everything. Okay, so what is HTML? Okay, so what is CSS, TypeScript, JavaScript, all those things we will discuss one by one. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language. So the main advantage of this HTML is to create the structure of the web page. Okay, so what is the structure? For example, so if you want to create any website, so this is the structure, right? One rectangle. So after that, we have created one header structure, one footer, so navigation bar and body, right? So this is nothing but one structure. If you want, we can provide some advertisement related place also we can provide, or quick info or jewelry information. So that type of thing, if you want, you can provide. So this is whole thing is nothing but parts of the web page. So whenever you want to create any web page structure, we will use HTML. Okay, so not only creating the structure, so sometimes we will add the content of the web page. Like for example, content can be images. This is the logo of the web page. Sometimes we will write that particular website name. For example, it is a hospital related website, e-clinic something. Okay, then we will provide home, about us, contact us. Okay, here we will provide the doctor's info, so nurses info, appointments, registration, so like that, multiple navigations. Okay, so and finally we will provide the footer related things like copyrights. Okay, all rights reserved, something 2021, all things. So now each and every part is one web page, like, so it may be header.html, footer.html, so navigation.html, body.html, so jewelry.html, quickinfo.html. So each and every part is one web page. Okay, entire thing is one website. Okay, fine. So now if I want to click on doctors, so then we will create one doctor image. Okay, that particular doctor related information. Okay, so for example, so this doctor is having 12 years of experience or something, he is belongs to the dermatologist something, we will write the doctor related information. Similar way, so we have to provide another doctor information. Oh, sorry. Okay, multiple doctors. So whenever we want to click on the doctors, similar way, nurses, appointments, registration, other staff. So those things, whenever we want to click on the navigation, so those related information, it will display in the body page. So this is whole thing is nothing but structure of the web page, and so display the content in the web page. Okay, so this is more than enough, but some drawbacks are there by using HTML. What is that? First, so we can create only static web pages. Okay, what is the difference between static web page and dynamic web page? For example, so let me open hdfcbank.com. Okay, net banking. So if any user, that can be any user, if you open, the same page will display for all the users. But so once we enter into the credentials, user ID and password, so then it will display the data dynamically based on the user credentials, right? So one person may have 1 lakh rupee, another person may have only 10,000 rupees. So dynamically the dashboard will display. So for that, so we are unable to do by using HTML. We can create only common web page for all the users, means static. So not only this thing, so if you go for the Facebook, so if you go for the initial page, it will display normal thing. But once we enter into the credentials of Facebook, so every user is having separate dashboard. So that dashboard is nothing but so dynamically changing based on the user. Okay, so that type of dynamic web pages, so we are unable to create by using HTML. Okay, so now for that we will go for the JavaScript. Okay, so leave it about that for now. We will come to the CSS. What is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Why we have to use this cascading style sheet? Whatever the structure we have created through HTML, the same structure, so we will apply the styles. So for that structure, we will apply the some styles. Means presentation wise, it looks good if you use CSS. So for example, here, something like this thing is there. See, header is one color. So navigation is in another color. So advertisement is in one color. So something like jewelry information or something, click in for something, and body is in another page. So if you want to apply, so not only structure, you can apply the styles for the individual content also. So for this reason, we will use CSS. So then what is CSS? So to apply the styles, so to apply the styles for the web page. Okay, so now we have learned HTML and CSS, just basic introduction, not in depth. So in depth we will learn at the time of classes. So now move to the JavaScript. So what is JavaScript? So JavaScript is nothing but just we have created the structure and we have displayed the content in beautiful way by using CSS. But I want to move the data from one place to other place. Or if I provide registration form, I want to validate whether proper data is providing or not. For example, in the registration form, so username is there. But if you provide the mobile number instead of username, we should display some error message, right? Boss, you have entered mobile number instead of username. So if you write mobile number text field is there, but you are trying to enter username. Boss, you need to enter 10-digit mobile number, but you are entering into the username. That type of validation messages we can do by using JavaScript. Okay. So for example, let me go to the Amazon website. So let me open any one of the product. So go to the onion cutter or something. Okay. So here that particular product is there. I want to click on add to cart. See, on top of that 0 is their cart. So now if I click on add to cart, the number would be 1. Okay. So what's happening here? So body related product moving to the header. So actually that is cart page. If I click on cart, that product information would be there. So what they are doing internally, just moving object from one page to other page. So they are writing some behavior, some business logic they are writing by using JavaScript. Okay. So what is the main advantage of JavaScript? So to create the business logic, to write the business logic, or to create the behavior of the web page. Okay. So to create the behavior, or you can write front end business logic of the web page. So not only that one, so we will learn so many things from JavaScript, what extra advantages would be there. So let me show you. So greatandhra.com. Yeah, advertisement is there luckily. See this advertisement, I'm not clicking anything. It will, what is that? It will display only couple of seconds, then it will disappear. See, I did not click anything. So because, so they have written internally, so JavaScript. Okay, so they will write some set timeout related function, how much time we have to display some advertisement. After that, we need to redirect to the actual page. So that type of things, if you want to go for the enodo.net website, so they will give some block. So they will display some pop-ups. So those all things we can develop by using JavaScript. Okay, so now these three are heart of the entire front-end development. So what are those three technologies? HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you are very good at these three technologies, so we can learn remaining technologies very easily. So especially JavaScript. So JavaScript is very important. So compared to the remaining technologies, so JavaScript is heart of entire front-end development. So not only front-end development nowadays, so we can use inside the Node.js, and so inside the, so what is that? So MongoDB. So even database level, even what is that? So server-side scripting level also we are using JavaScript. So without knowing JavaScript, so we are unable to do anything in future. Maybe so Java is there, .NET is there, so for complex applications. So not all the organizations will maintain complex applications, right? Some companies, they may choose small projects. So for that small projects, so they will use so server-side technology as Node.js. So that's why for front-end technologies, they may use so JavaScript related libraries or frameworks like Angular, React.js, Vue.js, Ember.js. So these all are front-end related libraries and frameworks. But coming to the Node.js, so that is completely server-side technology. MongoDB is database. But we are more focusing on only front-end technologies. Okay, fine. So now come to the TypeScript. So what is this TypeScript? So now onwards, nothing is there. It would be easy for us. Just so earlier, so we have used JavaScript, that is dynamic typed scripting language. But TypeScript is static typed scripting language. Okay, and moreover, so they supports OOPS, object-oriented programming system, compared to the JavaScript. So it will add extra thing. Okay, so this is extra if you use TypeScript. Okay, and now we will use Bootstrap. Similar to TypeScript is similar to JavaScript only, but extra OOPS concept is there. Okay, so now next one is the Bootstrap. What is Bootstrap? So Bootstrap is nothing but, so what we have learned CSS, right? So we need to take care about each and every class. Means we have to apply the styles, what are the properties required. So we have to prepare each and everything. But Bootstrap is CSS related framework. Means, so no need to write any class. So Bootstrap will provide predefined classes. So we will use those classes. And moreover, so Bootstrap, especially for responsive web designing, they have developed. What is responsive web designing? So responsive web designing means, so if you want to use the web application inside the mobile, tab, desktop, or larger desktop, it would be common for all the mobiles. Based on the device, so it will display actual view. So that is the reason we will go for so RWD technology, that is Bootstrap. So responsive web design. So for that we will use Bootstrap. So this is Angular. So Angular, so front end related framework. Okay, this is so JavaScript. So you can call it as TypeScript framework also, no issues. But actually Angular internally they have used TypeScript. So Angular JS is there, that is old version. So they have developed by using JavaScript. But Angular is developed through TypeScript. Okay, so internally they have used TypeScript technology provided by the Microsoft team, the TypeScript. Okay, so TypeScript they are using internally. That's why we can call it as TypeScript framework or JavaScript framework, no issues. So I will give you more clarity. So which one is the JavaScript, which one is the modern JavaScript, which one is the TypeScript. I will discuss each and everything very clear approach. So last one is React.js. So this is completely JavaScript library. So then you may get immediately so doubt library versus framework. So framework is nothing but so each and everything will provided inside that. But library, so we have only few features. So we have to retrieve, if you want any extra, we will communicate with third party libraries. Okay, and moreover frameworks we will use for the complex applications, libraries we will use for the smaller applications. That's it. So these are the things so we will cover so for this entire course. Okay, so HTML to React.js. And moreover, if you want to go for the front-end technologies, especially front-end developer or web developer, we are all our web developer, front-end developer. If you are very good at HTML, CSS and Bootstrap, we are front-end designer and web designer also. Because so we know HTML, CSS, Bootstrap also. So along with JavaScript. So that's why if you learn so basics of, yeah, someone is ping. So this is React.js only, right, Rani? So last one is React.js. No, jQuery is nowadays no one is using. So that is old technology. So JavaScript related library, that is jQuery, but instead of jQuery only nowadays we are using React.js. So then why we have to go for again so jQuery. So earlier, so in the Angular level, we have used jQuery library. So if it is heavy, because of heavy, so they have removed jQuery and they have added JQ means jQuery Lite version. But after that, they have removed completely jQuery because that is the old version. So old library. That's why nowadays no one is using jQuery. And if you know JavaScript, React.js, Angular, then jQuery is nothing is there. So that's why, so we will try to cover only so updated technologies, not old technologies. So even Angular is there. So if you want to go for old version, that is Angular JS, but we don't want to discuss Angular JS here. Because so nowadays most of the members are using advanced technologies, not old technologies. Even if you know Angular, then Angular JS is not a big difficult. If you know JavaScript, then jQuery is not a big difficult. Okay, so if you know JavaScript properly, then jQuery is nothing. So business logic is always we have to use JavaScript only. Even if it is Angular, React.js or Vue.js, any JavaScript related library or framework, but finally you should be aware of JavaScript. Okay, fine.